Abub was only 9 years old when his world turned upside down. His parents, Neka and Ikenna, were well loved in the village of Umuaka. They owned vast farmlands, a flourishing palm oil business, and a compound that stood proudly in the heart of the village. But behind the smiles of their relatives lurked a shadow, Obi, Ikenna's younger brother, whose heart was consumed with envy and greed. When fire gutted the family's home one stormy night, taking the lives of both parents, the villagers gathered to mourn. Abub, found crying by the roadside with ash on his face, was the only survivor. Before the villagers could make sense of the tragedy, Obi raised his voice. "This boy," Obi declared, pointing at Abub with trembling hands, "is cursed. He set the fire that killed his own parents. Who knows what evil spirit he carries?" The villagers gasped, but not all were convinced. Mama Ugo, an elderly widow, stepped forward. "Obi, mind your tongue. This child has just lost everything. How can you accuse him of such wickedness?" But Obi would not stop. He began weaving tales, claiming that Abub had often been seen wandering at night, speaking to shadows or muttering incantations. He whispered that the boy was possessed, that his parents had paid with their lives for harboring him. And while grief hung thick in the air, some villagers began to fear Abub, avoiding him in silence. Left with no choice, the boy lived under Obi's roof. But instead of care, he found cruelty. Obi starved him, made him toil on the farms, and beat him for the smallest mistakes. Whenever Abube cried, Obi would sneer, "You should be grateful I let a murderer live under my roof." Yet the boy carried himself with quiet dignity. He spoke little, but his eyes shone with innocence. He prayed at the shrine of the ancestors, asking only for strength to endure. It was this resilience that unsettled Obi most, for the villagers began to notice the truth. Whenever Obi spread a new rumor saying Abub had stolen yams or poisoned water pots, evidence always proved otherwise. Someone else would confess, or the lie would unravel under questioning. Slowly, the people's doubt turned not on the boy, but on Obi. Sensing suspicion, Obi's desperation grew. One moonless night, he led Abub into the forest under the guise of fetching firewood. As they reached the thick of the trees, Obi lifted his machete. "Today your evil ends," he hissed. But before the blade could fall, the wind howled fiercely and the ground trembled. From the darkness, the voice of the village deity Allah boomed, "Obi, you dare lift your hand against the innocent?" Obi dropped the machete, shivering. A giant Iroko tree nearby crashed and fell, missing him by a hair's breadth. He ran, his scream echoing through the forest while Abube knelt in awe, unharmed. When Obi returned to the village, he said nothing. But his malice did not die. Days later, he tried again, this time pushing Abub into the river, hoping he would drown. Yet the waters, calm a moment before, rose into a whirl that tossed the boy safely onto the shore while dragging Obi waist-deep in mud until he begged for his life. The villagers who had followed, suspicious of Obi's intentions, witnessed everything. "This is no ordinary child," one of them whispered. "The deity protects him." From then, Obi's mask of falsehood began to crack. The elders called for a gathering at the village square. There, Obi's crimes were laid bare. His lies, his attempts at murder, his hunger for his brother's wealth. When confronted, Obi tried to deny, but a sudden thunderclap split the sky and lightning struck dangerously close to him. The message was clear. The deity itself condemned him. Ashamed and broken, Obi was banished from Umuaka, stripped of all claims to his brother's property. The villagers turned their eyes to Abub, the boy once scorned. "Your parents were good people," Mama Ugo said, taking his hand. "Their spirit lives in you, and the gods themselves have shown you are innocent." With time, Abubi grew under the care of the community. The farmlands that Obi coveted thrived again, this time dedicated to the boy's future. He became a symbol of resilience, a living testimony that truth, though buried by lies, always rises with the dawn. And when he walked through the village, no one saw an orphan or a cursed child. They saw Abub, the one protected by the gods, destined for greatness.